Hey guys, I decided to drop another bit of wisdom across today. Entertainment purposes only. I am going to be here all week. I went to check mine for usually I don't do that until nighttime. And for some reason, I decided to check. And yes, I always fidget when I'm up here. It turns out, I don't know why. I don't know if it's my service, internet service, or if there's something wrong with the clip. So, um, if there is, I'll take it down. So I wanted to put a different one up just to harass everybody a second time today. I done went to the grocery store and did all that. I had things to do. And, Robert has a plate full, and I can't really help him much because, oh my goodness, I got to quit fidgeting when I am up here. It's like everything goes haywire and it waits until I get here to do that. So, okay, I might be a little bit off. I managed to make it to my local Walmart, and don't. It's got a reverb on me, and then I have a shadow. Ooh, yeah. Am I smoking? Yes, I am. It's not what you think. Well, then maybe. Let you guys figure that out. Let's see. I had one of those starts. Um, had a wardrobe malfunction nearly first thing. I burn small cubes of wax with lavender smell because it promotes sleep, helps you sleep. And they're only, it's about a little round thing, about, a third or fourth of a cup. It's not much. It doesn't seem like much. Turn it over when, when it's done melted. And I did manage to do that very well. So it's on my sideboard there. My bedstand next to the bed, and it went over and it splashed my full length mirror. And I thought, oh, that's all it. I'll get that off. That'll be easy. I was wrong. And then I found out that it's on my coat and my purse. I find out, and I didn't notice before I left, that my favorite blue coat that Robert bought me had been clawed. It hadn't held on to, so it's all messed up in the back. No, I'm not crying. I'm just going to stitch the hell out of it. It's my favorite coat. Screw that. He might be able to find me another one. I don't know. But he'll look for it if he can, when he can. So I'm trying to fix this one because he knows that's my favorite coat. So the last coat he bought for me. Now, the last one he bought for me was the Calvin Klein gray with the satin lining. It is so warm and it's so cool. I mean, I can wear it with jeans, dress legs, dress. It's nice. I like it. Excuse me, I'm having one of those days. I came in and had a hot chocolate and then decided I better drop this one. So I made myself a strawberry crush. I like the IBCs. They remind me of when I was a kid reaching into that red aluminum cooler full of ice to get a soda at whatever gas station we ended up at. It was before the Eisenhower highways were put in. So it used to take 12 hours to get to the grandparents or to Dad's parents' house. And that was always fun. You ever taken a couple of girls and they're 7 and 9 years old and you're on a 12-hour road trip in the 70s? That didn't come out right. Yeah. I give him credit though. Daddy would never let us children, these were my adopted parents, and he'd been in World War II, so they were more like grandparents. But he would never let one of us girls get a soda that was a Coca-Cola. Would never do it. Had a fit. And made us all swear, never to have a soda that's a cola, any kind. But really, Coca-Cola was his main thing. But, so it was like, and Sprite, I don't think was out there. It was knee high. We had knee high. That's what we kids went to. At least me and my sister went to. It was very odd. And we couldn't figure out what in the world, And then one day he came home and he had a soda, a Coca-Cola with him in the bottles. I remember them well. And the logo, and bottles were much bigger than you get today, and they were glass. And he dropped a nail in it, and he said, "You watch in the morning. I bet you that nail's gone." And this was a big old nail. This wasn't just a little tic tac. And he threw that in there. And this was over a weekend. So we come down the next morning, and he said he's got it on a little shrine-like thing. Because we kept saying, but then McDonald's was being built directly across the street from our house. And we were like, and we want to go, and we don't know. Pepsi Cola it was new. Pepsi was always Pepsi Cola, and it was kind of coming out, but it was having a slow start because Coca Cola had been around for a while, 1800s. And although we didn't know it, it didn't say it, the recipe was, but my dad knew. And of course, then it was gone. I said, imagine that, what it's doing to your insides while you're drinking that. And on top of that, he had friends that just whittled away to nothing. And all they did was drink Coca-Cola constantly. It was a constant thing like alcoholics. And he said it was addictive. And that man was right as rain. We thought he'd lost his cookies. We thought he was nutty. I mean, nuts. We thought he'd lost his mind. And so when we got to McDonald's, Mama would wait till he went to work because he worked nights. And like I said, you could see McDonald's from my house. It was go down. It was a suburb, and we were the corner house. So you went up to that stop sign, and then there was a small 4-lane highway there, and then jump across that, which was never easy. It was Sibley Boulevard, and you were at McDonald's. So she would wait. And back then, if you got a big order, they put it in a house, like a Ronald McDonald house. We loved those. And Mama would buy plenty. And she would let us have a Coca-Cola. And that's what they had started out with, was Coca-Cola. And she didn't tell Daddy. She didn't tell Daddy she didn't cook on the weekends when he was gone. She got McDonald's for the kids. Oh, no, you don't. Get down from there. That's Crystal. Yeah, my pixie. She decided that she has to be on air with Mom screaming at her. So, again, Dad was right. He also said that the mob had put up their Tommy guns, put on ties, and went to D.C. He got that one smack on too. he, he used to say to me all the time, "You'll understand when you're older." I used to get so PO'd about it. I was like, I could understand enough you'd say it. It is. Mm. So even Mom would go against him. Just for that one little thing, though, it was always just that one little thing, McDonald's, that she would let us do on the weekends. And back then, you could buy, I think we used to buy 6 hamburgers, 6 fries, and 3 drinks. I'm pretty sure that's how we did a regular one. And it was like $4. I knew she was going to do it. What is wrong with you? See there, you better get on out of there too. I have to mop anyway. Go ahead. I'm making you need a bath. Oh, Jesus Christ. She's already behind me. I'm still squirting. I can't see her. It's been one of those mornings. I had my nails done really nice this morning. You can see on the other video. But then I had to run to Wally World. And I picked up a bigger box of cat food, because wet food, and litter, which of course we need constantly. They all had their own cat boxes. So when we started out, we just had Serenity for like 8 years. She was the only cat, and now we're just covered up. So there's litter boxes in both the bathrooms. There's a litter box in our utility room. So I'm sorry, Robert, I can't take the phone. They'll have to call back. I'm sorry, I can't take the phone right now. Again, I need my studio so I can just lock the door between the cats and my husband. I'm talking to them more than I am to you. It's like, wow. So we had the wax on there. I don't know. I guess he wants to be on live. There you went. I don't get it, but okay. I'm sure he'll tell me later. This is again why the studio needs to be finished, but there's just the 2 of us, so that's not easy done. And I need to spend more time doing it. But every time I pick up these things, they're this heavy, then my back goes out immediately. It's like somebody sitting me in the back with a baseball bat. I mean, repetitively. I'd rather have a kid again than have this pain. This pain doesn't stop. You have a kid, the pain stops. You have the kid. I think that's what they figured out my pain level was with the VA when I said I'd rather do that again, because I didn't allow drugs by my son. So it was completely natural. And yes, it hurt. I told my kids and my daughter, take the medicine. It's not going to harm the baby. But a lot of that stuff was new back in the day. My son was born in late 79. So it was better than it used to be. Um, okay, okay. Okay. My husband's telling me he's got to go do a job, and his friend will call on him. They call him a MacGyver because they know he's not going to charge him 15,000 to put that tire on that big rig. So bless him, he's about to run off to go do that. And the guy he's a good guy. Robert just calls him the boss, although he's probably 20, 25 years younger than us. I mean, I think he's late 30s, maybe early 40s. But they'll call Robert because he'll look over there and he'll say, no, you don't have to pay 500 for this part. They have 5250th Street, and I'll put it out for you. So no, it won't cost you 15 grand, but you can pay me something. And usually, I don't think he even sets a rate. He just goes and helps, because after he had beat cancer, he had to still have the feeding tube for about another year or so before we finally could get an appointment to get that taken care of. And this guy was also there. Something about, I don't know why they brought the cancer place. I can't recall. No, it was license plates. That's what it was. I was thinking he was okay by then. And anyway, yeah, he was renewing his license and his CDLs. And this guy was there for, I think, the same reason, maybe to pick up a report. I'm not sure, um, because his trucks and that's whose trucks Robert rode, and he had brand new ones for him. And they kept going through the pandemic because they had heard how the kids were doing without food and milk in certain areas. I mean, if the trucks don't roll, you don't get food and diapers. You just don't. And stuff doesn't come by parachute, doesn't come by train. I mean, if it doesn't get there in a truck, and I didn't know that, so I married a truck driver / ace mechanic because he can do anything. He could do electric and drywall. He can do, that's why they call him MacGyver. I wish he could do it at home. Yeah, it doesn't work out that way so much. He was trying to tell me he had a phone call that he was going to have to dip. I understand that. I'm just glad he's here so he can dip. I was very scared when he had cancer. His cancer was much more advanced than mine was, and I also had to have 6 breast surgeries. So, we've been through the mill, and through all of that, we had family members who were um, getting sick and moving across the Rainbow Bridge. And it's tough when you get into your 60s. And for him, he was fighting stage 4 cancer, which is they should just say you're going to die and give you 6 months, because that's what it means. It's and immediately hospice was assigned. I mean, immediately. So I didn't think I didn't think I kind of froze a couple of times because I didn't see him walking away from stage 4. Nobody had that I had, and I've been in and out of the medical field for 50 years, 40 years, whatever. So, this was, it was difficult. And I was his only caregiver. His older brother and younger brother came and stayed a few weeks, say hi, and ran around with us. It was kind of them. But he beat it against all odds. He didn't do the chemo, but I think it was the second time when he said he would never do it again. I'll never let it be done. It's nothing but poison. I mean, literally poison. They poison every cell in your body in the hopes that if you can kick it off and restart your body. It doesn't work that way. It's step 2. It could be my feet. Let's see. I don't know. It could be the feed. It could be the internet today. I hope this one doesn't have me going in and out. I done lost track of what I was trying to tell everybody this one. I saw they're going after Kyiv in Ukraine. I think by now that the Ukrainian people need to accept that they've been beaten and that Russia's going to take over again. It's not like they haven't before. And I hate to see this happen to anybody in a democracy where there's no such thing under Russian control. Um, Putin has been in control for 22 years. And supposedly they have elections, but I don't know how that works. I mean, but instead of losing any more people, it's time to, stop. The citizens are already going back home to the certain areas because they've been told if they'll accept the Russians as their new leaders, they're fine. So some of them are trickling back. I think he needs to leave. The president needs to leave the country with his children and his wife, and he needs to be under witness protection because the guy that was very vocal about Putin was put in prison again, and he died this week. And this has happened before to people who've spoken out against Putin, even one who had left and was living in London, and they still got him and poisoned him. Now they're saying that they have not released the body to the widow. They're saying that he died of sudden death, so almost like SIDS. So kids get this, sudden infant death, but it was something of sudden death syndrome, is what they were saying. 2 days before the young man, and this is a young man, he's probably 40, he's been a younger man. He had been saying, joking and laughing. He had lost weight, but he was upbeat and he was fine. 2 days before he died. There was nothing wrong with him, and he looked fine. He looked healthy, just a little thinner. And 2 days later, he's dead. Then they won't release his body. And Putin is well known for taking on displays of poison. You know, that's why people want to live in America. We Americans are going to go back. It's not as good as you think. Have you seen our president? I mean, he's always lost. He can't say what's going on when he gets out there for an interview or whatever. He's not going to get it right. He's got it written in front of him. It's on a prompter. And he's going to call the president of Puerto Rico. And it's the president from El Salvador. He was talking about the French ambassador who's passed away some years ago. So the new ambassador, he was calling them. And then I heard he forgot he was vice president. That was 8 years. You wouldn't think you'd forget that, but you do if you have dementia and you're older, and it happens. It happens to the rest of us. That's why none of us want the old age thing. We hippie baby boomers, and I say that way because it's really true. Um, we were all going to party hard, die young, and look good, but we left. It was always leave a good-looking corpse, and that didn't work out for us so well. We're still we're still here. I'm not sure how my kids think, but I'm sure they don't want me to exit yet. That's what they tell me anyway. I'm like, okay, well, what's next? Locusts? And then, of course, the one I put in the can before I go running off to do stuff is just freezing. And in a minute, 3 words will come up and you freeze the frame again, that little circle. So I didn't know if it was the feed or if it had happened when I put the podcast on live. So I decided to go ahead, trying to throw another one in there, just so y'all know I'm still here. I'll be here all week. Hit the blooming like button. If you don't like what I'm saying, tell me. You want to talk about something? Say so. It's my social Woodstock. It's everybody's social Woodstock. No haters. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing about hippies. It was love and peace. Love and peace. That's what hippies were, with long hair and really good bands and cars. My first fiance had a GTO, and boy, we loved that car. We were always getting into the drive-in, and we were in the trunk. I was poor. I worked. I was working as a bus girl at 13. I had to buy clothes somehow. My parents, like I said, were not young. They were World War IIers. They'd lived through the Depression, World War I, World War II. These were not young people. That's a whole nother story. So, of course, today, as I was saying, I had to go get the kitten stuff and pick up some litter. And I decided I wanted to go. It's a few minutes I get out of the house. I don't mind because it's a real easy trip for me. I don't get in all that traffic and stuff. So I go, okay, I'll go. Meaning again, I got to pick up 50 pounds 3 times just on the litter. I don't even know how much the canned food weighs. It certainly weighs. It should weigh a lot more than it does for the money we pay, because literally doubled. I mean, they didn't bring it up a little at a time. It just doubled. That's it. Doubled. Everything did, especially the animal food. The dog food's even more expensive, and we miss our dogs. And some of us, our um, Smokey Bear was a husky chow mix, and he would sing "I love you," and we missed him so much. And I wanted to adopt another one. I wanted to rescue one, and I was with my husband on that. It really, we've always had a chow for years. I mean, pretty much since we've been together. And they were all rescues. And every one of their owners at that time, we took them in as puppies, and they were going to die. And we nursed them back to health. And they were beautiful. And they were just beautiful, and they were great. And those people would want those animals back after they come back 3 months later and they see how beautiful they are with us. Like that was going to happen. No, you're not taking that out of nowhere. So we decided together we're not going to do that. Now every cat on God's green earth seems to have found our house, and we're of course feeding them. So we don't know what else to do but help them. People throw rocks, they do all kinds of stuff. So anybody that sees this, if you're in Augusta, and if you know, I don't care if it's worldwide, truthfully, if they'll help these animals. I've called the ASPCA. All you can do is donate. It's a rotary thing. I don't know what they call that nowadays, but there's no human on there, and you don't get through to your human. And the only thing you could do through the system, either online or on the phone, is to pay them something, donate something. They don't. They're not, there's no way to find out to help any animal. Where does that donation go? Because that's all they get. They get donations to do nothing, because I can't find what they do. If you can, please let me know in the comments. This is a killer shelter here that we have in Augusta, so I won't use them. And I haven't trapped them, and I've made sure nobody can come on my property to trap them. And I pray every day that they just stay on the property and that they'll be okay, and that they won't have kittens, because these guys graduated here as kittens. Pixie is one that his eye had been nearly sliced off the eyelid and then infected. And I picked up a shelf that she was underneath. She was trapped out in the hothouse, and she stepped in my hand. She was so tiny, and she was going to lose the eye. And I couldn't let her do that. So I brought her in, used antibiotics and aloe directly on it, and carried her around for like 4 days, and it healed. And then she had been sneezing and coughing a lot anyway. Now it was hard for her to breathe. And so we had an antibiotic, and I took a little bit of that and I put it in, and I put a little gabapentin in there for the pain, and she beat that in 2 days. And no, I'm not a veterinarian. I am a veterinarian, but I did look things up to see what could be done for those kind of things. So it's really, Google does have everything, and it saved her life twice. And my kit, I lost my cinders, and that broke my heart. She too was one that just came up and cried and cried, and she was a domestic cat. And at that time, we only had the two. Tiger Rose was the rescue that Robert got out of Petco, that they were keeping in a glass cage under neon lights for days, and they only fed him a little bit of dry food. It was horrible. And she made eye contact with him, and she wouldn't quit. So he grabbed her. We got her the next day. So then we had three. And then we had a black cat that had four kittens. And one of her cats and her had gotten tangled in a fishing net on the boat. So, of course, then we had two. So now we had four. And then we found out she had three other kittens a week later that we caught on the porch trying to eat. And we realized we were going to have to bring them in, because they weren't but a few weeks old. Their eyes were open. They were able to move about, but they were dying because they couldn't hardly chew that food yet. Their teeth weren't that good. So they were brought in, and brought in. And one of our friends came to the bar one day, one of Robert's friends, and he was feeding Pixie, because she too had to be fed by a bottle. She was so young. He had never seen anybody feed a cat, a kitten with a baby bottle. And they're made for the cat. And so that was his reaction was cute. I thought it was fun. So we keep trying to help, and at the same time, the neighbors are getting unsettled. And I've already been to court twice on that matter. And that did not do well. They wanted to put the old lady in jail. So I had to go and look up some of my rights and then enforce them with trespassing and so forth. So the kill shelter can't just grab them if they're on this property. And so far, it's been okay. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And I'm surprised there were no babies. We had 3 more um, domesticated cats show up and just crying. And we can't take any more in. We just have too many. But we lost the mama, the black one, the black mama, all 4. I've never seen a cat have all black kittens or one color kitten. All of the kittens. She had 4 kittens. They're all black. Tennyson, he's got a little white. But we lost her. We lost Cinders. And it was really hard. And it doesn't matter how long you have an animal, as long as you're treating them and you love them, it's still very hard to let them go across the bridge, too. I imagine Betty White found a sea of animals when she got over there. And I know I'll see mine. John Edwards, he's a good sidekick. He used to have his own show on it. Really would be hard to do that. But he was tickled one time when he talked to a woman and said, "Did you have a horse? Did you have a dog? Did you have a turtle? Did you have a..." But I've never seen so many animals come through. There's no people. It's just animal. She's probably like me. She didn't like people. But I doubt this one's going to be as long as the last one because my back is killing me. It was killing me before, excuse me. Mm. I needed that stiffener. Mm. So I picked all that up again 3 times. I pick it up, put it in the car, pick it out of the car, put it in the trunk, and get out of the trunk. So I got home, Robert's taking it out of the car. So that was a nice blessing. Excuse me. I wonder where that's coming from. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can go on with this or not. So, no, apparently not. I don't know why. I don't know why. That seems to have aggravated my throat. Mm. I'm going to try to cross my fingers and go on. It may not be very long after this. I'm sure you're all glad for. I don't know. The world is crazy with the Ukraine thing going on. Our southern borders, it's like the all over again kind of thing. It's really tearing up our country. Damn it. Maybe I usually don't have an inhaler too far away from me. Excuse me. And it's not wanting me to smoke. It's just another reason why I try not to. Sometimes it just creeps up. But I've been on them for years, and I quit smoking 4 years ago, I think it was, other than occasional cigaretto. I forget where my train of thought was at this point. Everything else. I have my nails all done. If the other one ever is fixed that I dropped a couple hours ago, you'll see I have my nails fixed, and I do my own. And they're snapping off and hitting people in the eye. I just saw my freeze. My frame just froze. So I'm thinking something's going on today with the internet because my frame just froze and I'm looking at it. And I'm also seeing the lighting change. And that doesn't do that either. So I'm wondering what the hell? And the husband's holding up notes. Well, it's not boring. I give it. If anybody wonders why it says anything and everything, it's just that's the whole explanation. It's like pirate. It's just no different. No. Yeah, same thing, like I said, with our southern border, with the federal government trying to hit the governors who are trying to protect the citizens of their state, which is their job. That's what they're elected to do. I can't believe what I'm saying. Then you got the DA that's prosecuting Trump in Fulton County, which again is Atlanta. And she's been having an affair with the guy, some other attorney, and she's the DA. And he's been having an affair with him. That's not what it was actually said, but they said, no, they did see each other for a little while. Of course, now the guy's divorced. She paid him $960,000 to take whatever it was he was doing for this case. And there was a whistleblower. The young lady was also a DA. She was like a junior DA. Anyway, she went up to and this Fanny, whatever you want to call her. Anyway, says, oh, I know you don't like this guy, because she was reporting on one guy who was using the grant money that they have for something, and it wasn't to be used that way. And she had told him he couldn't do that, and he had just kind of laughed at her and did what he wanted. And she, of course, went to her boss and said, I couldn't stop this, and it's illegal. This is a grant for such and such. The girl gave an interview. Of course, they fired her. You don't want them people in there going to do the right thing. Let's keep these suckers who keep taking your tax money. You ain't better file yet, because you got a lot of illegal aliens needing those card cash prizes from us. So make sure you get those taxes done. You know what I question? If you're off 10 cents on your taxes, you've paid $200 to do them and to send them in. You get taxed on money you never saw, because the taxes came out the whole year. So if you made 29,000, or if you made 82,000, whatever, okay, but you only took home 71,000 out of 82,000. They still, when it's tax time, they tax you on the 82,000 you made, not what you took home at 71,000. So you're taxing that again, and you never saw that. You supposedly made it, but you didn't get it. You didn't get the money. They don't. They make you by law buy insurance, but by law they don't make insurance pay your ass back. It's like, where's my unemployment money? I never, ever drew a penny of my unemployment. Where the hell's my money? I want to know why my insurance companies can charge me $3,000 a year for 30 odd years, and I haven't even had a ticket. Where's my money? It's just me, I guess. No, it's not. Everybody was running around. So, what is it you're calling it? Woke crap? I mean, come on. Where in the heck is our backbone? Now, we hippies used to stand for something, and I still do, and that's love and peace. But the truth is also part of love and peace, for the hell. I mean, come on. This is what this whole thing is supposed to be about. This democracy is supposed to be with people. Why do people go into government service and they're paid millions of dollars so they can spend millions of those dollars on ads to get you to go vote, which doesn't count anyway, because the Electoral College votes in the president? Look it up. No hate, please. Look it up. That's who brings in the president, based on how you voted. And y'all trust that? Yeah. No, I don't. I don't trust a mail-in ballot. I used it when I was in the military, but for God's sakes, I knew who the hell I was. I was in the military. That was allowable. I understand that. I'm in Germany or whatever. But to say, oh, these illegal aliens, they don't need it. No, you don't need any ID. You go vote. And yes, there are ways that it's time to take back this country. I saw the Palestinians actually finally rise up yesterday. And I thought, oh, this is so stupid, because I knew they did it backwards. They went out there like they were marching around in America. No, they wasn't. Nope. The Hamas troops have food trucks. They took the aid, and they won't let the citizens have the food or the water contained in those. They shot a kid, a teenager, who went to get a bag of flour for his family. They shot and killed him. Then these idiots decided, I mean, you just can't make this shit up. These guys decided to go on a march against the Hamas. And, yeah, and anybody show of hands how that might have turned out? Yeah. Yeah. Of course they opened fire. They're terrorists. It's like pirate. It tells you everything you need to know on work. And yet they went out there and protested. Why didn't they just put a target on their chest? Say, here you go. They've been living amongst them for years, like 8 years or so. They've been supposedly the government, and that all the time they've been getting the billions of dollars of aid and taking it to build tunnels. They're in these Palestinian people's homes. No, they don't have any homes. They're all rubble. At what point, after you see your dead baby, do you go look for a weapon? Because me, before they got to my kid, I'd have had that weapon. And I might have gone with them, but I would have took a whole bunch with me. And you idiots are out there holding up a flag like that is going to stop these terrorists. They're terrorists. They're murderers. They've been using you as shields for decades. Get a backbone, find some weapons, and shoot them in the head. I wouldn't double tap it because I think you need the extra ammo. Because you're going to die out there. You're not in a country that loves you. The IDF is doing everything they can to protect you, while your Hamas leadership is doing everything they can to kill you. You. So these kids out here at this university, at our Ivy League universities that the parents pay so much, why? Because these kids aren't getting an education. They're out there protesting what? What are they protesting? That the Israelis didn't just lay down and die, but a couple thousand of them, a couple hundred taken. No, that's good. Go ahead. We've been doing 75 years. We got it. We got a bomb shelter in our house. Oh, you got through that with grenades? Well, it makes me so angry. It really makes me angry. And then I hear that they're calling the generals or calling the commanders, whatever, of the IDF saying, kill Hamas. I'm like, they've got a cache of weapons under your bloody house. Go get them. And the next time they come in your house, shoot them in the head and throw them out back. I mean, there's bomb craters out there. Nobody knows how he got there. And the IDF said the same thing to him. We can't. We're not trying to kill him. Maybe surrender. There should be no quarter. The IDF has nearly 600 dead already. And that's just the soldiers. So if you add it up, they're looking at nearly 3,000 dead. They're saying nearly 28,000 Palestinians died, but they're blaming the IDF for that. And you can see the footage. They've done what they could to get the civilians out of the way. With Hamas telling them they cannot go. They could not leave. Because if they tried to leave, Hamas was going to kill them. And this was put on the air. People videotaped it. They knew if they said something about Hamas, they would get shot and killed. And they still didn't do it. And I can't say I don't blame them, but I'd have tapped them in the head, trust me. No. It was okay when everybody went and nobody was killing nobody. You go along, you go to work, you do what you got to do. You go home, take care of your kids. But when they go and kill, 1,400, take a couple hundred, at what point do you think you're safe? You're not. And you're blaming the wrong people. They died en masse in a murderous rampage that is too horrific for them to even speak of, because they don't want the world to know exactly what happened there that day. It was so horrific. Now think about that for a second. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in New York. I don't care if you're in Qatar. I don't care if you're in Palestine. Think. You go marching up against a terrorist organization that won't give you your own food from the aid trucks? And you think they're just going to pat your little head, you're going to be okay? No, they're going to shoot your dumb ass. I'm just saying. You need to fight back. You know where those caches of weapons are. You know where those tunnels are. You know who's going in and out. And when they're going in and out. Get up. Get a backbone. And stop letting your kids die. And stop blaming the IDF for it. Because I've seen them several times. Not just tell you they were coming like they did after October 7th. And they said they were coming in a week. And they gave you 3. They didn't like what they had to do, and they still don't. 75 years you guys have been lobbing missiles in there. At what point do you guys go, okay, I don't want I don't want my kids to die anymore, and kill the ones that are responsible for all of the slaughter? The slaughter of your people, the slaughter of the Israelis, the slaughter of the Lebanese people. You've got arms shipments coming in from Syria and Iran, but they won't let you go there apparently. So you got a couple of million of you at the border of Rafah. And it's there no further. They've drawn that line in the sand with a huge fence. I mean, literally, I do wish my guys could go right on out there and look at that and how fast they got that sucker up. Because our southern border, they haven't been able to do that in 28 years. These guys did it in like a day and a half. And it's double. You ain't coming through that bitch, I'm telling you. Sorry about the French. But at what point? I mean, no way I would have stood by. No. I'd have been arming the kids. They're doing it anyway over there. This is the other thing that they're not saying. If they don't stop Hamas completely, these guys have another generation that's coming up. And they're going to do it too. And then what? They start over again? No, I said war crimes to say, I can't let you do this to a couple of thousand of my people. Get out of Afghanistan. And they're not trying to just kill Hamas, although that's not a problem with them. And it's not with me either, or Hezbollah, or whatever the Houthi thing is, which is a funny name for a terrorist. But it makes me mad when I think about it. It makes me mad when I see those baby body bags on any side or anywhere. The Ukraine, I don't care. Babies. Not toddlers, although they have those too. Pregnant women too. The world has lost its ever-loving freaking mind. Get up here. Sit with me at this bar. Talk to me. Hit that live chat. I know I am not the only idiot out here. There are people just like me, my generation. This is okay. We're going to close the southern border. If you can't do that, get out. You're fired. That's it. It's that simple. You're fired. Now, they did get a little bit more power. I like the guy that got a Speaker of the House. There's a few there. Hawes, and there's very few. They're new. And they're fighting hard. But it's against the good old boy network that the lobbyists bought off with millions of dollars. How do you think these damn people, after 30, 40, and in some cases 45 years, like old Sleepy Joe, how in the hell did they amass $20 and $30 million? Anybody? I mean, that's not rocket science. We all know this is going on. They don't have Social Security because they have a much better deal than we do. Have they got Medicaid? They don't need Medicaid. They got a much better plan than we do. Do they get paid for the rest of their life? You bet your bibbies. Do they need to be? No, not with 21 million. They really don't. How bad is our deficit? Honey, it's so bad that you can't even, it's beyond description. How much further are we Americans going to be pushed? Are they trying to get a civil war started? What the hell are they doing? Because they're not taking care of their country. And they're finding the people that have the right and indeed the duty to defend their borders in the U.S. too. And now the U.S., besides telling our guys they can't do that, which really pees me off, they also tell the IDF they can't do that. Who the hell does the U.S. think they are? Or any other country for that matter? You're going to tell me in France that terrorist that killed these 3 people that y'all didn't go after? And yes, you did. You did. Yes, you did. And what gives you the right to tell another country they can't defend themselves after 75 years of being the nice guy? And this is still trying to stop this before the holy month of Ramadan, which is one of the holiest for Muslims. And they're trying to make this stop before the holy month of Ramadan. Now, is Hamas helping them out with that? Anybody? Yeah, no. No. They're shooting teenagers who want a bag of flour to feed the family. On one truck, there's enough flour to feed the whole 2 million in Gaza, Rafah, for 6 months on one truck. I think there's 50 or 60 trucks parked up there. That's the truth. And I need other people besides me to stand up and speak of the truth, because somebody also needs to slap the piss out of these kids at these universities. And then I would take the president, slap him. I mean, slap him once, slap him twice, slap him again. That's what they deserve. They need to have their citizenships revoked, put them on a plane, make sure you get them a burqa and give them a parachute and shove them out over Palestine. You like that place? See ya. Enough. Enough. You've got illegal aliens living in hotels with the veterans are sleeping in the streets. Good grief. It's the same thing as I've seen about the Palestinian people going ahead and letting them kill their kids, their babies, their teenagers, and blame the IDF. The IDF didn't pull the trigger, Hamas did. The IDF didn't blow up, Hamas did. The IDF didn't say they couldn't leave. They showed them how to leave, gave them maps. Hamas said, if you leave, I'll shoot you. So, yeah, I said, defend yourself. And yet we've got the same thing going on here. But the president says, no, you can't defend yourself. This is the federal. Squeeze me. You're fired. All of you. And we should make every effort to make sure that's exactly what happens. They're fired. There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. Like I was about to say on the DA from Fulton County, who's supposed to be on the Trump case, which is a railroad right through New York. You can't practice business here for 3 years. Then the bankers are all screaming, he's not guilty of nothing. We love this guy. We'll give him anything he wants. He always pays the interest. Yeah, what's wrong? They still, what? I'm just, where the hell is the justice system? Where the hell is our democracy? Our republic? Which is it? Is it anything? Do we have anything left? Do any of us have a backbone still? No, we're all scared of the IRS. Because why? Well, because they look like black-booted Nazis. That's why. You know? They're even worse. The Nazis didn't cover their faces up except for the eyes. At least you can see a face coming at your ass. You can't with the IRS. And it's been so bad that these guys have gone to the wrong place and killed people. They threw a pregnant woman down in the concrete of her driveway, and they were at the wrong house. Her child died. They said, oops, wrong house. You can't find City Hall. Well, what do you do when City Hall's gone? Because it's pretty much gone as far as I can see. With the DA controlling her own trial, with the judge backing that up, which I watched for only 1 hour, and so she's got the judge in her pocket. Because these people, the other attorneys for Trump, are asking her how long she had an affair with the guy she paid nearly $1 million to do something about the case. I have no idea what, because they were busy in the Bahamas and all this other stuff they were doing. Don't know where the money come from because she don't have a checking account. She just uses cash. And the judge would say when the cross-examination came up and the attorney tried to cross-examine them, is she already answered that question, move on. Interrupt the attorney and stop the attorney from even saying it. And you knew then, this guy's in her pocket. And I wondered when anybody else going to figure it out, because it's been going on for a week or two, I think. And somebody finally realized, okay, there may be, they were smart enough not to leave a money trap. Don't know how they did that. I'm sure they'll figure that out. But they had cell phones. They might know where they went with those cell phones. And now they do, because they got the cell phones. Information on both. And they've both committed perjury just on that alone. And this is an attorney, a DA, who's standing there calling the attorney a liar. And you don't tell me how to pay my bills. This girl got attitude. She a Karen up there. Excuse me. Most people, if we tried that, we'd be in jail for contempt. And they'd keep going with the trial. They'd never allow that. No judge would ever allow that. But he's stopping the cross-examination, Trump's attorneys. He's stopping them to call for asking anything. And it didn't take me 10 minutes to go, okay, this guy's dirty. He didn't recuse himself from the bench. And no, guess who contributed to the DA's campaign, mind you? to become the DA. Oh, that would be that judge. But he only gave her 150. It was his wife who donated the next two times. Yeah, he's got nothing in the game here. He ain't got no skin in the game. He didn't even refuse him to get cheese, Louise. Recuse is actually a nice word for what this man should be held accountable for as a judge. But he shouldn't even be there tomorrow. I mean, he should not be there. And truthfully, she needs to be stripped of her law degree and never allowed to practice law again and charged with theft that she's taken until she pays that money all back. But that's not going to happen because she's not a regular person. She's in somebody's pocket. They're in somebody else's pocket, which is obvious. Trump can't get a fair trial because there is no fair justice in the United States anymore. There was when it was called America. After the Civil War, it was the United States. Because, of course, we had the North South thing going on. That was so America. And now they're taking that away from us. And I don't understand how it's happening. I know we have the power to do it, but they've got us so cornered into our own little worlds that we don't have any way to do that. Now, this is a social Woodstock, guys. We can't jump up here. I've seen a ton of us up here going, do you agree with that? And they're dropping the footage. So I'm going to start dropping the footage, see what feedback I get. But I think you guys have seen it anyway. So I had not gone in that direction, but I will be soon. But we all need to get ourselves together and say, what they did what? Oh, no, that's illegal. Yeah. For them, no. You can't do that. They can do whatever the heck they want. Even go into a courtroom after being charged for it. And still, I mean, now I'm talking, she's given brief, but to an attorney, you can't do that. This one is. Are you trying to tell me how to pay my bills? I'm like, holy crap. Come on, everybody's got to know that this judge is in her pocket. I mean, it didn't literally take me 10 minutes to say that. I knew it in the first 2 minutes. It was obvious. This is how a courtroom runs. Maybe everybody should watch a little Judy. It's just, you can't make this stuff up. And maybe I shouldn't be laughing, but at the same time, I'm like, it's that kind of day. You know, like I said, I threw my back out again. I had my nails all finished. They were blowing off my fingers, like hitting people in the eyes. All this heavy stuff. So now that the manicure is gone, I think I'll leave it that way because I was going to do housework today, and it hurts to actually, I'll be truthful, to sit here and try to talk. So I may be a little bit PO'd more than I usually am, maybe, or more angry at some of the things I see than I usually am. I understand why the Palestinians are not fighting back because they've been hostages for a long time. They've been killed by these people for a long time. They took all the money, all the food, all the stuff that was supposed to go to those people. They took it. And the people know they took it. It just shocked me that they were stupid enough to go up and march and protest like they were in America. They had to, at what point did they not think that these people are going to fire at you? I'm surprised. I think only one died. I think 13 were wounded. But that I was shocked that only that small amount were killed. These people don't care. And you've been under the thumb for years. You know that. You know that. And it's just like the Nazis. If you just don't stand up and fight, you're going to lose your kids. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your world. And a lot of the Palestinians have. And they need to stop blaming somebody else. They've got to get together, and they've got to find a way to fight these things. And I call them things, they're just so evil. Let the IDF know where they are. If you can't get on them, if you don't, you have no way to fight, tell the IDF where they are. Let them get them. They can fight. Let them get them out of your face. Let you go home. Um, if they get the hostages and if Hamas is no longer in control of the Gaza Strip, then it's done. But I think the only way that's going to happen in a decent frame is if the Palestinians actually turn and take back their country, basically. And really, I mean, their country is nothing but rubble at this point. They've got to stand up. There's 2 million of them in one place. And I heard there was a couple of battalions, maybe, of Hamas left. Well, then they definitely outnumber them 10, 12 to 1. Again, if they can't take them out themselves, let the IDF take them out. But you got to let them babies live. And Egypt doesn't look like it's going to let you in there. I don't know what's going on over there. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But we're letting in more folks than Egypt is. I'll tell you a crazy thing. That's just the way it is. I've heard some of you have started going back up to South Gaza. And I just pray for everybody that this stops. The Ukraine stops, that our southern border stops, that you guys get this done, and that people stop dying. And it's not what I see every day. So, everybody hit a like. If you didn't like it, hit a dislike. Throw yourselves in the comments. You could subscribe if you hit the bell. It takes 20 seconds to get it off. If you got something to say, because I have live chat, but I don't see that anyone's out watching. So, throw a comment in if you've got one. Um, this is a social Woodstock. I think I'm going to make that also part of the description to see if it is, and I know there is more people like me that aren't afraid to say, this isn't right. You can't do that. That's illegal. But what are you going to do against a judge and a DA? It's not looking good for Atlanta, I'll tell you that. And that's a pity. I've been in many states and many countries, and this is a good state. And yet the taxes get higher and higher, and the food gets higher and higher. You will buy 5 things, 3 of meat, both of bread, a couple of gallons of milk. It's $9 to $8, and then you got $12 in tax. So you just spent $120 to feed yourself for 3 days. It's that bad. It's that bad. This is why I wanted everybody to get together and talk, like we did in the 70s and the 80s. Before the barcodes became active, back when we knew how to count, change, and write cursive and answer a phone on a wall. Back when we knew where our friends are because the bikes were there or the cars were there. And these kids don't even go outside. They don't even go outside. There are kids here. They don't go outside. You don't see them. We finally quit doing Halloween. There's no kids coming. And it's just a little bit sad that I don't see anybody jumping on here with me. I don't believe for a minute that you're not out there. Come and tell me if you are. Let's start our own Woodstock. Let's start our own chat that we can still do with this stuff. We can talk to anybody, everywhere and anywhere, and we can talk about anything and everything. Let's utilize this because they might not let us keep it for long. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing is a given, not even tomorrow. So, and on that note, I see my time is coming up. Trying to have a good day without my lecture. I'll try to be more entertaining tomorrow. Maybe I won't watch current events. Let's see. Have a good day, everybody. It's a pretty day here in the South. I'll appreciate it very much. And without you guys, I can't keep doing this. So tickle that like button for me and have a great day. Toodles.